Morning, everyone, and welcome to another of our Friday supplemental channel extended care specialists Friday calls. Um, again, this is our mission statement. Our job is to help you succeed in the building of your practice, however you define that. And as long as you're achieving your goals, then we're meeting our mission. So um, that's why we're here. Any kind of issues, problems, challenges, whatever it might be, call us, reach out to us, email us, text us, whatever. We'll be glad to help in any way we can. Okay, we got a full agenda today, so let's get going. Here's what we're going to talk about. Andy's going to be on the call with us. He's going to give us an update from the Medicarian conference that was in Vegas this last week, and also talk to us about some of this new legislation that has been advancing. And so you know where you stand, especially all you Medicare agents out there with the Medicare Advantage program. I think he'll be happy about some of those things that he'll be sharing with you. I'm going to provide some carrier updates. Then we'll have a visit from Stacy Anderson, who's our contact at Harry and David, who is one of our strategic partners, and some of the things they've done to enhance that program to make you look that much better in front of your clients and to use it to get referrals and all kinds of other things. We'll talk about that some. And then some ideas from the field and our lead vendors, some news you can use to send to your clients, and what it takes to become an extended care specialist success. Part 3, this is a test, again, following in the tradition of the last couple of weeks, where you do some self-evaluation, but we'll get to all that. So let's get started. I wasn't sure Andy was going to be here right from the beginning, but I'm so glad to see he is. I'm going to skip to him in a minute, but I do want you to know a couple of things. Hey, if you're not looking at the LTC news regularly, there's the link for it. Make sure you go to it. I'll make sure it's in the email with the recording of this webinar. This talks about the average retirement age is going up. Baby boomers in particular are working longer. This talks about when people are collecting their Social Security. That too is going up. Peak retirement age in the United States right now is about 63, but they expect retirement to go well past 65 and there's some stats on that. And then even more importantly, Moo did a cost of care study, and you'll find the attachment on the email with the recording. But the cost of care, the cost of home care in particular, rose 14% since last year. So way beyond inflation. And as we've been discussing on these calls for a while, that's a trend that's not going to slow down anytime soon. Getting the labor necessary to deliver the care, the amount of people needing care, and all the other things that go into providing good home care is going to require more and more capital. And as a result, the cost is going to continue to rise. There's some links here where you can see all the different things that Mutual of Omaha found in their study. There's the statistic about 14%. Extended care gives you real value for the middle market, as you know, and all the sales this week I saw came from extended care policies. And again, on average now, about 50% less than the cost. Here's an example of what I mean. The average cost of a 50-year-old couple trying to get traditional long-term care is about $359.73 a month. The average cost for the same exact benefits with an extended care policy is $164.50. So it's so much more affordable and attractive to especially the middle market. Okay, there he is, the man, the legend, Mr. Andy Daster, who we've been affiliated now with for more than 6 months, and Andy has been beyond my expectations when it comes to his knowledge of the Medicare business and all the other supplemental sides of the business, and his enthusiasm to see this particular channel succeed. Andy, can we hear you? Are you unmuted? What did happen to him? Yeah, Andy, unmute yourself if you're not there. I can unmute you. You know, I hear somebody's dog is there.
I don't see them yet.
You don't see him? You don't see Andy? Let's see. I just came out of the slide deck to see if I can find Andy. Andy, are you there?
Not on the list.
No? Okay. He was there when I looked a second ago. All right. Well, if he's not there, he'll be here when he can, because he had something this morning, but he was rearranging it so he could be here with us. But you're not seeing him, you say, huh?
No.
Okay. Keep an eye out for that, please, Miss Alita.
Stop the dog from barking.
Yeah, and who's the dog that's barking? If I could see the participants, I'd be able to mute them. Please, everybody, click on your microphone. That will mute you. You can always unclick off it and unmute it if you need to ask a question. So let me. Okay, now we're getting a whole conversation. I got to find this wherever this link is to be able to unmute, to mute them. Ah, here we go. There we go. Andy, it says you're here. I don't know if you're here, Andy. I see you on the list, right next to Alita too. So you came on early.
Maybe he just stepped away from his desk for a little bit.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of. That's why I keep hoping if I talk loud enough, he'll hear me. Or maybe it's his dogs. I don't know. All right. Andy, he's not muted. He's not. He says do not disturb. Okay. I don't want to get too far ahead. Part two. I'm going to continue with the call, and we'll come back to Andy as soon as he can hear us. What more can we say than that? All right. You're seeing Andy's picture again, right?
Yes. It seems like
Okay,
Abe
thank you.
has his mic on.
Thank you. And now we got to get Andy. And everybody else, please mute your line. All right, Andy, when you come on, say something. But according to this, you're on. So let me go back and we'll come back because I really want you to hear some of the things that are coming out of the Medicare side of our business. Obviously, that's a good lead-in product for us to be able to sell more extended care solutions. Also, there's obviously some changes to the fiduciary rule as it applies to our business and to the comp schedule on Medicare Advantage. So I want you to hear all the things and how it's going to impact that business and how that business then will impact our business. And I think in a positive way. Let me hit the slideshows from here. Okay. When I do this, I can't see who's on. So Andy, if you're here, let me know and unmute yourself. Okay. Let me talk about some other things while we're waiting for Andy to join us. As you know, we've been running a test with Lead Concepts, and we have 4 people presently in the campaign, 2 more on the cusp of joining. Sharon, Cindy, and Raymond have already gotten started. Paul got started this week, started to get some leads. But here's the totals as of yesterday. We've gotten about 170 leads in so far on the program. The cost is about $3 a lead, which is by far the least expensive program to generate leads that Lead Concepts has ever done. So that's good. The problem is, and the challenge is, that we still haven't converted them into sales, and the biggest challenge has been trying to convert them into appointments. But we're going to figure that out. And because of these brave people that went before us, they're meeting on a regular basis and giving us input. And we're going to be doing more and more of that to tweak the different ads, tweak the different approaches, and really just make a go of making this program work. It's certainly not a question of can we attract responses. We're getting responses galore. Now, here was one of the new testing things that we came up with here, as you see in red. Instead of featuring states in our ads, we're going to start to feature the agents themselves. Here's an example of what I mean. So this will be you if you're testing it, and they'll be able to see you when they respond, and they'll be responding because they have questions about extended care or questions about Medicare or whatever the ad's going to be that we're going to run. Probably say extended care. These ads are designed to find extended care prospects. That's what makes them different than any of the other ad campaigns out there. So we'll tweak with the copy. They'll get we're going to test sending them a fulfillment piece. That was part of the input. Sharon Luker last week met with Michael Pimita, who is our contact there at Lead Concepts, and spent half hour or so with him, giving him more than probably giving him feedback on the program. Lead Concepts is absolutely committed to making this work, and they want the input from the people that are there, and we are going to find a way to continually tweak this until we get it right. But I wanted to give you an update on what's happening, and again, how inexpensive the leads are. But it doesn't matter how inexpensive we are if we don't convert them, and everybody realizes that. So we're all on board, and thank you everyone for being brave enough to be the first in the door here. We'll get it right. Andy, back? Andy Daster, unmute yourself if you're back. No? Okay, then I'll move forward and talk about some of the carrier updates, and we'll hopefully get to Andy here shortly. Here are who we're going to talk about as far as carriers today. Cigna Short-Term Home Health Care has launched, as you informed me last week. It's officially out on the market. I'll show you the states it's in and what its plans are, and the training that's lined up for that product here in about 6 weeks' time. I want them to get some experience going out the door and selling the product, et cetera, and getting their feedback so that when they do the training with you, they're giving you up to the minute, really, what's working, what's not, et cetera. But we'll talk about that. Moo has a bunch of different updates out. Wellaby just came up with one this morning they sent. I'll share it with you. John Hancock. Again, John Hancock is our #1 life product with an LTC rider that you specialists go to when you're looking to offer that kind of solution. GTL has a new link to their short-term care. I'll share that with you. And Manhattan Life puts out about 3 different emails with updates on what's happening and new tools that they've delivered for you and training and everything else. So we'll get into all that as we break these down. Okay, Cigna has launched the products. It's in these states: Arkansas, Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Louisiana, Minnesota, Michigan, Nebraska, and on and on and on. All right, they're going to be opening up more states every week for the foreseeable future, and we'll keep you posted as that happens. They put together an exclusive training for us on May 28th. Now, they offered to have you participate in their general trainings, but those are strictly product trainings, and they don't go into the sales side of things. This is an exclusive training just for the NIAIS agents. So write it down on your calendar. Included with the recording today will be an invite that you can click on and register so that you'll get the reminders and be available for this call. It will be run by Natalie, who was the rep that talked to us when we initially introduced the product before it was out on the market, and now it's here. So again, you want to write down that date. You got plenty of time.
Is that Central Time, 11 a.m. Central?
Yes, that's Central Time. I believe it's Central Time because it changes to my time zone when they send me the invite, which is Central Time. But this doesn't stop you from looking at this. So there's a link here to get access to the sales tools. There's a link here to get the brochure and read whatever you want into that, and exactly questions you should be asking, etc. As far as I know, it's a $300 a day benefit, so it's not as lucrative as well be at $500, or Aetna or Omniflex at $400, but does have some other things that are special about it, waiver premium and a couple other things that they'll share with you, and you'll see in the brochure. So take the time to look at this. All right. Two, Moo. As I said, every week Moo comes out with a newsletter. In there is a section on long-term care. And some of this stuff is really good stuff that you could be sending to your clients, right? Like this article here, long-term care insurance is not a purchase that should be put off. This is the kind of things you want to drip on your prospects, the people that you have in your database who haven't bought yet. These are the kind of things that could move them to take action, all right? Here it talks about why your client should decide if they want cash or a reimbursement policy and so forth. So again, every week, take a look at this email. It's always attached to the email with this recording, and take advantage of some of these things that are being provided. Manhattan Life sent out the notice that their contest for this year's trip comes to an end it's coming up right now, coming up the end of this month, I believe, at which point that contest will be put to rest for the year. And then you'll start to see that you'll soon learn what the destination is for the 2 trips they're going to run next year. One, I don't know the destination of I think it's another European destination. And then the second will probably be a domestic destination. They'll announce that at the trip to Stockholm. Again, none of our people qualified because we didn't start early enough this year to get anybody to Stockholm. I know a couple of people that made Aspen, but again, this year we'll have the full year running, and now the contest begins, and all the sales you're making between now and next March will count toward the next trip. So get a head start on that. This is Manhattan Life's training calendar. They print it every month. I wanted you to take particular notice of the short-term care training session, which is on the 23rd. So when you get this, just click on that part of the invitation, and you can register if you want to get some more training on the short-term care product. All right. John Hancock, as I said, this is the product of choice for when we have someone who wants a product with an LTC rider in it. That's because it has the 7202 language in it, which makes it eligible for tax qualification if another state passes a law on giving you an exemption for having a long-term care policy. That was the requirement in the past, that it have that language in it. This policy has that, and it makes an excellent choice. And John Hancock has always been a great carrier to do business with. All right, this is about how you can improve, or what they're doing to improve upon their underwriting and being more liberal in who they're accepting. Here's the email on the short-term home health care from GTL. I clicked on it. I don't know if you can see it, but I have to share it separately with you. Let me see. So right now it's spinning around. Andy, did you make it on? Andy. Okay. I don't know why we can't hear Andy, because it says he's on. And I'm waiting for this to come up, but it's just, there it is. So this is the brochure for the short-term home health care. Can you see it? Can you see the brochure, everyone?
No.
No, thank you. Let me go back over here and just make sure I'm sharing it. There's Andy. All right, let's see. Why does this team thing do that to me? Share. Yep. Now come share doesn't come up. It doesn't. Well, anyway, go get that link and you'll be able to see the booklet. I don't know why it's not giving me the share button to share with you. Oh, wait a minute. I think I have to stop sharing in order to share it. All right. So now let's go back and see if we can bring it up, the booklet. Okay, share. Where are you? Right here. And there it is. Okay. Now, you see the booklet? Yes. Good. All right. I hope you're seeing
Yeah.
the booklet.
Yes,
See
yes.
it.
Yeah, okay. So that's the book. That link takes you to this booklet. It also takes you to the brochures of every other product in the GTL library. So again, save this link because you can get to all their products, and they have dozens and dozens of supplemental products that you can take full advantage of. The distinct advantage of the GTL product over the other extended care programs is that they specifically have a question on Parkinson's. If you do not have stage 4 or stage 5 Parkinson's, you can qualify for this policy. None of the other carriers ask you about that, and Parkinson's can be a reason for a declination. But here, they're telling you we'll accept it as long as it's not stage 4 or 5. Okay, so keep that in mind if in case you run into a client like that. All right, let's go back. I guess I got to share again to get you back to the slides. Let's see. Okay, stop sharing. All right, now let's get back to the slides themselves. Hello, Cindy. Let's see. Share. Okay, now you should be seeing my slides again. All right. Stacy would be coming on now. Andy, are you there? Andy. Now, this is beyond ridiculous in the sense that I knew he'd be here before this, and I don't know why he's not. Stace, have you come on? Stacy? What is this? She might be too early yet because I told Stacy to come on around 11:30, thinking we were going to hear from Andy. Hopefully, we will. You're going to be excited to hear about this expanded program with Harry and David. I'm going to save it for when she comes on, but I will tell you that for those of you who are newer to us, we've had a long strategic partner relationship with Harry and David. You get a 20% discount off of all their items in their catalog, including everything that's on sale. In addition, you get free shipping as a part of my relationship with them. And as a result, you can save substantial amount of money. I know people like Abe use it all the time. I was sending it to clients for a while. I've also used it to generate referrals. And again, it looks like you're being a much bigger shot than you are because you under this new program, you're going to be able to choose any cost point you want from the catalog, whatever that might be. You'll be able to get that. You'll get the 20% discount. You'll get the free shipping. You'll get all the other things. And then you can utilize it to not only thank your clients or send something to them on their birthdays or have a contest for those people who send you referrals, or just as a great way of saying thank you. And since we're coming into Mother's Day and Father's Day and graduations and all the other things, to have an advantage like this, again, I think Abe uses it for things outside of even his business when he uses it to send to friends and relatives who have special events. So anyway, you'll hear all about that as soon as Stacy's on, which is hopefully shortly. Let's talk about news you can use. All right, two things. We have a program here for, I'm going to again have to share this. That's the only thing I don't like about this team. Every time I have to come out, I have to share it separately. All right, let's see if it's coming up. It's coming up. Okay, so yesterday, let me share it, I guess. Yesterday, there was, get it to come up. Okay. Yesterday, one of the great FMOs in our business and our space is LTCI Partners. Um, they're mainly a worksite shop, but I've known these guys for 30 years. They put on some of the best webinars in the business. Yesterday, it was all about LTC insurance for small business owners. And we were talking about a new lead program we're going to be generating to sell to those small businesses and large businesses that want to bring a long-term care product into their benefits package. And I thought this would be something you would find valuable to listen to. So I'm going to send you the link with the recording. This is for the original registration, but I will have the link today for the recording of this. So those of you who want to hear it can tune in and get this information. There's definitely all kinds of things when it comes to a plan that you sell either as executive carve out or through a worksite that you can bring to your clients that you cannot bring to them with the retail products. For example, these products are all priced gender neutral. Instead of charging more for women than men, when you approach them with a product that's brought to them as though it's for their business or through the worksite, everybody's paying the same price. The underwriting is more liberal when you approach them with a product that you set up this way. And the entire thing, the entire premium is a tax write-off for the business. So there's reasons to look at this. And if you haven't, I strongly recommend that you do. Let's go back to sharing the slides. Okay. Stop sharing, share, boom. And there. Okay. So you'll take a look. There's also an attachment that will show you all the latest inserts. This is the newsletter that NAS puts out. If you're not reading that newsletter, it comes out on Facebook, it's blasted out to you. Make sure you do. It's really well done. Priscilla in the home office gathers all this information and gets things out to you that you need to know and as far as changes. So the link for that will also be on the email with the recording. Andy, you here? I'm going to keep asking Andy. All right. So as we start, as we started just a few weeks ago, we have this new forum where we are looking to you to share with us any marketing ideas or sales ideas that you're finding that are working. And you've heard from some of the lead vendors, you've heard from some of the agents. They don't know that Sharon and Paul, you didn't know that I chose you, but I saw some things this week from both of you, so I was hoping you would share. Sharon, you could unmute. You met with Michael at the trade show that you and he attended this week, and I heard you had quite a conversation with him about the lead program. Anything that came out of that you could share with us? Sharon, unmute. Kidding me? Nobody can unmute? The dog can unmute. I can still hear him. Or her. Sharon?
I can hear you okay.
Yeah, so why can't Sharon unmute her? Just hit on the microphone and you should be able to unmute. Paul, can you unmute?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. See?
Okay.
So it works. All right. So Paul, you started getting leads this week.
That's
And
correct.
you started showing me some of the responses you were getting, which I was optimistic about, and things you were doing. You want to share anything from the lessons you learned from doing that? Okay. Did you go mute on me too? Paul? What's going
Can you
on
hear me
today,
now?
guys? Now we can hear you. Yes. Yeah, I couldn't hear you for a second there, but go ahead.
So I did an email blast to one of my associations.
There you are. We can see you now
And
too.
within about 5 minutes, I received about 8 leads, which I either called or scheduled a call with already. These people are obviously interested in long-term care. Of the 4 I spoke with, all 4 had experiences in their families with long-term care claims, which prompted their response to the email. And I'll be speaking to some underwriters today regarding 2 of these people because they have some health issues. I think they're manageable, but we'll find out soon which company will do it. All New Jersey, and there you have it.
Good. The two issues are, how old were they?
Everybody was, the ones I spoke with half of them, were in their low to mid 50s.
Oh, really? So it's getting a much
Well-
younger market, because originally it was all in their 70s.
Well, these are all working people who are still school principals. So yeah, it's a good group.
Good to hear. All right, well, keep us posted, and I'm glad you're getting a decent response. And again, I'm very optimistic that we're going to figure out how to tap into the right market, and we'll see who all of a sudden starts converting sales. And again, it could happen at any time here, because every one of you that are in the test are capable of.
Paul, I have a question for
helping
you.
with this.
How did you get connected with an association where you have access to blast out to their members? I'm curious about that history, that background.
Well, when I first started in the business, like everyone else, I had no clients. And for some reason, I went to an association in New York City called the Workmen's Circle, which is like a small B'nai B'rith. And I knocked on their door, not knowing anything about anything, and developed a relationship and did extremely well there for the first few years with MedSup mostly and long-term care. And then I just started cold calling some associations. And this goes back years ago. Unfortunately, I haven't done it since. And I've gotten appointments with them and convinced them how wonderful I am. And we're off to the races. And some of these associations are not that good, all professional associations. Some are not that good, some are stupendous in terms of not only the individual market, but the group market. For one of the associations, I have all 7,000 of them on a group life plan, AD&D, voluntary vision, dental, and so on. So yeah, I just knock on their doors like anything else. You got to do it. Like the Nike commercial says, no magic, no connections, no leverage. No one knew me. I didn't know anybody. That's the story.
That group that he just referred to is a group of teachers or administrative people with teacher principals and other people related with the school system. And again, he's been servicing it for quite some time now, and it's been very, very rewarding to him. If you're interested in getting into this market, let me know. We are starting a test where we are going to both the worksite market and the association market with some of these group products that are guaranteed issue. And we had our first meeting yesterday, and those that were interested have already thrown their hat in the ring. Again, I'll explain to you how it works. If you have strong interest in wanting to participate, let me know, and we'll share with you the criteria to do so. Okay. Andy, are you here? Unmute yourself if you're not. Very something must have happened. Now I'm getting concerned. Not like Andy. All right. Tomorrow we will have a call. Maybe I'll get Andy to come on there. And again, it'll be the same link as today. It's a phone call, not necessarily a webinar, or again, half hour. Your call, you set the agenda, you bring up the topics. If I can get Andy to come there and talk about the fiduciary rule and the other legislation, I will. From everything I'm hearing, there's some things you absolutely need to know, especially if you're in the Medicare space, because the changes are profound, especially on some certain distribution channels out there. They're just not going to have the same flexibility that they've had in the past. But it's a good thing for you as producers, because they're making sure more of the money goes, the more the commissions and stuff that are involved go to you. So tune in, and I'll see what we can do to get Andy to join us in the morning. Okay, this is who I know of that made sales. Again, these same 2 names come up every week. Alita, these were 3 OmniFlex policies, and Lori, that was an OmniFlex policy. I know Alita had a annual pay in this and then a monthly, and Lori, I forgot what your pay was, but again, these are all extended care policies. I just want to see a lot more names on this list. Anybody else write business? Unmute yourself and let me know. I'd like to put your name up here and celebrate you because you deserve to be celebrated. But
This is
Alita and Lori,
One
what's
of
that?
mine was a home health care policy with Manhattan.
A standalone home health care policy, which
Yes.
you can write separately from the OmniFlex policy, and they'll both pay simultaneously or pay in between each other so that you can help make up that time when they go into the restoration period. And certainly people want to stay at home, so you can get the home health care rider on the OmniFlex policy, and then you can get a separate standalone home health care product that's on Manhattan Life's paper as opposed to the OmniFlex product, which is on Standard Life paper. So again, if you're not taking advantage of that kind of creativity, you're giving an advantage away, because the average broker or financial planner will not know about all these different options and changes and flexibility you can have. So Lori, Alita, thank you for demonstrating how you're using your knowledge. Lori, wasn't that an annual, Lori?
Yeah, it was an annual. Yep.
Okay, looks good. See, because again, these products will default to monthly unless you change it unless you show your clients why paying annual could be a really good idea. They don't have to deal with the payment but once a year. Whole lot better for sustaining the policy on the books than when they have to write a check, twice a year or 4 times a year if it's quarterly or semi-annually. Anything that's monthly has to be an EFT. It means it automatic withdrawal from your bank account, which means those policies, once they get past the first
Gabe
year.
Greenwald, one of your agents. How are you?
Okay, Gabe, I need you to
Good. Do you have a care matters proposal for me in the state of New York?
I think that nobody's muted. I needed to mute. Mute. Okay, Abe, hit the mute button. Anyway, the
Mail.
the thing that you need to know is that when policies are paid on an EFT basis, after the first year, they stay the longest on the books because the client never has to write a check. They have the best persistence rate. In the first year, those who submit premium on an annual basis retain and stay on the books the best. So just keep that in mind when what you're going to do. I like when agents, though, have a nice mix because they'll.
Last name Lasner, Lasner.
Abe, hit mute button, Abe. Hit the mute button. What's going on with these calls? I wish I could see it. Last week I showed you this. I want you to again see it again in case you're having any trouble seeing any of our videos or any of the other material we send out to you. All of it gets posted on the YouTube channel that we maintain. Here's the link for you to see it at the NAIS has a YouTube channel you can access. Not only this week's, but all the past weeks' videos will be there. All the trainings are there. All the other materials that we send out to you. And then we have our own microsite that you can also access through the website. Again, there's the link, and you can see anything you want to see in the archives that we've done. So I put it in here for a second time just so you could make sure you have the links and can refer back to them whenever you want to go back and look at past material that we've talked about. Okay, anybody have any observations from the field this week? You would have, I think, if you had heard Andy, and I still don't hear him, so we're going to continue to go forward as though he's not here, but hope that he's fine, and we'll get him to jump on. Stacy, are you here?
I am.
Oh, okay. Well, we got to you earlier, Stace. So I'm going to come over. Oops. I'm going to go back to the slides and where you were and talk about. So you can talk about our strategic partnership that we have together, because I was bragging about you, Stacy.
Oh, you said 8:30, so I hopped on at 8:30.
I know, no, it's not you. We had a special guest that didn't show up for some reason, and we're hoping he's okay, but,
Oh my
um,
goodness.
yeah, no, he'll be all right. He's only the president of the company, so we certainly hope he's gonna be here. All right, where is that? GTL, dum, dum, dum. Stacy. I'm looking for the slide that has you on it. These are all these slides. Okay, that's Manhattan Life. Boom, carrier updates. Where are you, Stace? I thought you were right here. I don't know what you guys are seeing, but I'm scrolling through a bunch of
We can't see.
emails here. Let me get to the email. There's a picture of Lori. And, oof. Okay. No, I just had you here. This is crazy. All right. I'm having one of these days today where
It's Friday.
none of these slides are working the way they should.
Well, I'm enjoying this.
You are? I'm glad to hear because that's good. Yeah, what they call that Schadenfreude or something when you get pleasure out of other people's pain or something. That's what it
I'm
is.
sorry. I'm a 1 month into this business, and I got a lot going on, so this is kind of helping me catch up.
Okay, good. Well, we're just going to share because I found the slides. So let me go back to sharing the slides here, and Stacy will be with you in 1 second. All right. Share. Stacy. There we go. There we go. Okay, you can see your name, Stace.
I do. I
Let's
see
see
it.
what happens. Okay. So as I was saying, one of our more fun, if you will, strategic partners, and actually became more important than I originally thought it would be, is our relationship with Harry and David. And most people know Harry and David, been around forever out of Oregon. And we were lucky enough to develop a relationship with Stacy, who's the account executive for them, who has brought us all kinds of perks that frankly nobody on the retail side would ever get if it wasn't for the fact that Stacy has been so good at wanting to serve the NAIS and FPS agents. So she's our account exec. Stace, you want to talk to him about the tweaks we've made to the program?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of doing this. We started out a little bit smaller in the beginning, and we had basically like a voucher that we would send, I would send to you, and then you would have the link, and you could always send it to your client, and it would have different gifts on it that they could pick, and then they would send that back to me. But what I'm doing now is I'm going to still offer that if you would like that, but it's going to have to be more on a one-on-one basis because I find that, there's different times for different things. Sometimes you want just a gift that's, in the $40 to $50 range. And sometimes, you need a sympathy gift or just whatever it is. I have whatever you need, but on a regular basis, if you want something to send to your customer, your client, if you can get with me so I would know your price range, it would be so hard for me to pick gifts for the whole crew, and then I can personalize it to you and it'll be your voucher. That's what I was trying to think with Mark the other day when we were speaking, how it would work for everybody, and really everybody has different needs and different wants, and I'm happy to go down whatever road, or if you just want to order something that you already have in mind, that's just easy too. It's all set up for you guys. You guys get 20% off and you get free shipping, and it's a great program. They don't normally.
I use it all the time, as I said, and so there's Abe and others too have used it. So, but I think it's important that they know Harry and David is just not the great pears that Harry and David are famous for sending out, and the Moose Bunch, for those of you who are fans of their product lines. they also have all these other companies, if you can see it on the screen there,
Right.
that the Popcorn Factory and just, different gift baskets, Simply Chocolate, fruit bouquets. And this is just a small portion of all the companies that are affiliated with them. So you're not limited to just Harry and David.
Yeah.
Stacy is your contact for all these different products under their umbrella. So you have lots of variety.
I'll be sending Mark a presentation of a variety of different gifts that are very popular and from all the different different companies that we have. And so it will just be in ranges, and that way you guys can keep it. You'll have something to refer to. Nothing has to be within that presentation. Again, if you guys go on the website, you see something, or if you see something on sale, I may from time to time just be sending Mark something saying, hey, our pears are on sale. It's a spring special or whatever, or hey, peaches are on sale. Just so you guys know, because I know a lot of people love the fruit that maybe can't get it wherever they're at or that type of thing. So, but I'm here and I can do one-on-ones with you just to find out where you're at. I've worked with Lori and Abe quite a bit, and I feel like we have a very good working relationship, and I just want to get to know all of you and know where you're at and know how I can help without being a bother or taking up too much of your time. So
you've been so kind to us and our people too, Stacey. She's wonderful to work with. There's the website right there, harryanddavid.com. Again, you can go in and choose all the things you want, but call her direct. She helps you. She's got a team. I don't know where she finds all the time, quite frankly, but she does. And she'll continually to make you look good. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in my final close of this meeting, but I wanted you to know that this was available to you. I will actually have a sample of the voucher on the recording that comes out. I had it, but it wasn't going to let me open it from in here. So I'm going to send it to you in the email that comes with the recording, and you can take a look at it. There'll be 6 choices on there. But what she's saying to you now is a big step forward. She's saying you can customize the voucher to you. So if you call her and say, here's the 5 or 6 things I want to use as a choice to my clients when I want to say thank you, or I want to say happy birthday or whatever it is, the anniversary of their policy or whatever, you can actually have a voucher that will reflect that, and you'll know what the cost is up front. And as she just described, it can be significantly less, because when they do run sales, they're already discounting the cost. Then you're getting the additional 20% off of that and the free shipping. And so you look like a real big shot if they were to look it up and see what did she send me. But it turns out it won't cost you anywhere near as much. So use it, and I think you'll be happy if you do. And now Stacy's out in on the West Coast, so that's her. But I don't know. She seems to be available 24/7. I email her at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she responds back. I'm not suggesting you do that. I'm just saying she's always seems to be available. So stay in touch with her and build a relationship with her. She's a great asset to have as part of the NAIS FPS connection here. Anybody have any questions at all for Stacy? No?
thank
Stace?
you, Mark, and
Okay.
I'll get that presentation over to you so you
Good,
can
and I'll attach
send
it to
that
the
out.
email.
Yeah, and we'll go forward with this, and I'm here for you guys anytime when you need me, and I really appreciate just the relationship and working with all of you. So
Yeah,
you guys
as
go
we
and
do
have a
you,
great-
Stacy, as we do you. All right, so thank you, and
Yep.
your phone will ring. Mother's Day is coming, and
I know,
all kinds of
right?
other things. All right, thanks. Take care.
Have a great
Thanks.
Friday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Andy, I'm assuming you're still not here because I haven't heard from you. So I'm going to move forward. Anybody have any observations they want to share from last week in the field? No? I can tell you that the times they are changing. Yeah.
I have a new case just to throw out there as far as what direction
I think we just heard it on the phone. You didn't mute yourself, so we could hear you talking. Tell us about it.
I've got a doctor who's 6'2" and 132 pounds, which is crazy, right? He's
6'2"
80.
and 132 pounds?
Yeah,
What,
I never
what
met
does
him.
he,
but that's-
what does he do? Is he like a Q-tip or something? I mean, that's pretty thin,
Well, listen, he's in Florida, Mark. He's 83 years old. He's
right?
a plastic surgeon, still working part-time. I'm just curious what products in our portfolio might fit him, because height and weight, and it's going to be a challenge with any traditional company.
Well, he's certainly a candidate for True Freedom because that's not an insurance product that he has to worry about being underwritten for. Unfortunately, you don't have any of the extended care policies in Florida, but you will now, Abe, because of yesterday. He will. Well, no, he's 83. You said, right?
Yes.
So he's not going to be eligible for Chubb or Trustmark. True Freedom is the one that comes immediately to mind. The 83 is what the problem is.
Yep, I know.
Anybody have any other thoughts as to what might work?
Does he have any other residents in any other states?
I
Great
don't think
thinking,
so,
Michael.
but I'll check. Yeah, hi, Michael. I'll check on that. Thanks.
That's great thinking, though. That's exactly that's a good point. Just because you buy the product in a state necessarily where the product isn't at, if you have a non-resident, if you have a residence in another state, a second home or whatever that you can call as a residence, doesn't matter what state you bought the product in, you can use the benefits in all 50 states. So if they have, if they're in one of the 38 states that the extended care products are in, and you can get them the product sold in state, but they can use it when they go to Florida or use it when they go to California. And there's nothing that stops them from using those benefits in any of the states. So that's one good way to go if you find that out. 100. Is he got any kind of illness at 130 some pounds?
No, I mean,
6'2"?
I was like stunned when he said that to me, and he's a controlled blood pressure medication, no other surgeries, nothing else going on, but there could be
All right,
something,
well,
but I didn't uncover it. But
our guest on this call today was supposed to be True Freedom. They have refreshed their entire portfolio and they've added a worksite program as well. They'll be our guest next week. Obviously, True Freedom, there's no age limit whatsoever. You buy the hours at a deeply discounted price for home care. And again, you'll hear about the updated part of the product on next Friday's call, but the presenter had to have emergency dental surgery. That's why he wasn't here. So
Can't you call an underwriter? I mean, just because he's outside the height and weight chart, couldn't you call for a pre-screening just to say?
yeah, but who's going to write him at 83 in Florida, Cindy?
Oh, okay, in Florida. Okay,
Yeah.
I see what
Yeah,
you're
if he
saying.
wasn't in Florida, yeah, absolutely. If he was in Florida, we could definitely help him. And hopefully, if he has a residence in one of those other states to where we can write the extended care, you can write him up to age 89. No, this challenge is his geography.
right.
But
And his
again,
Wait, I have to fatten
What
him up.
about
his
access?
weight too. Yeah, I guess.
Mark?
Yeah.
What about annuity care? One American Annuity Care. They'll write
He's-
to 85.
They'll write to 85 in Florida.
85?
He's right. He's right. Absolutely.
What is underwriting?
That's Walter. So they're right. And underwriting's liberal with them. So that's a good, you can do that. Call
Thank
Keith
you.
Birkin. Tell him what you
Yeah.
got.
Will do. All right,
Thank
thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you, Walter. Okay.
I have something to share. I had a very good call with Manhattan Life this week. I had quoted someone on the Omniflex, and this kind of happened after the fact because I ended up re-inputting the application because the birth dates were incorrect. But then I called Omniflex back, or Manhattan Life back, the next day, and they told me exactly how to go in. Once you've saved the quote, if you want to make any changes before you start inputting the actual information for the policy, it's very easy instead of re-inputting the whole thing like I did.
Yes.
So that was helpful. Plus, they showed me how to just go in on their site and download outlines of coverage, because I'm a big believer in actually reading the outline of coverage to make sure that I know exactly when and how to submit a claim. So those two things
Certainly
are
is, by the
very
way,
helpful
folks.
this week.
She's very good at that, and she's been a champion for us in reading the fine print of these things. And as Alita's is fond of saying, their requirement in order to make a claim is a letter from the doctor, not necessarily cognitive impairment or activities of daily living, even though that's what's listed in the policy. It's not listed in the outline of coverage that way. And if you can get a letter from the doctor saying they need care because of whatever the reasons they say, they could be eligible for a claim. So thank you to Alita for constantly policing that for us. Alita, I had the same experience as you this week. It frustrated me that they did not have a change of coverage form. I went to the head of underwriting. Her name is Renee. I think it's Sudis or something like that's her last name. Anyway, because they were in the 30-day free look period, I told her what they wanted to make the changes to, and they were able to make the changes without
Oh.
having to take a new application. So I can
That's
relate to
good
your
to know.
story. That's something everybody should know. All right, let's talk about you. Again, in the series, I've done this a couple times over the last couple months. I'm going to do it today again, maybe one more time. I want you to take a test about you. All right, these are what we call the rules of selling, and it's going to be part 2 of these tests. I need you to have a blank piece of paper because, again, you're going to grade yourself, and at the end, you'll be able to give yourself a score and hopefully do some introspection on why it is you're not being more successful than you are, especially when you have what might be the single hottest product in the insurance space with this extended care program. So, again, I know it's against your character. I know that you're long-term care solution specialist or extended care specialist or supplemental specialist because you want to be in business for yourself, because you want to live by your code and all that goes with that, which means that sometimes some of you can be just darn stubborn. I know because I can fall into that trap too. So I know you don't like following rules, but I want you to follow this if you can. And the rules are simply to grade yourself on the questions I'm about to ask you. All right. All they're designed to do is to make you more aware of your own skill sets. You give yourself a score of 1 if you think you're poor in that particular area, 2 if you're average, 3 if you're good, 4 if you're very good, and 5 if you're the greatest. All right, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of 5s out there because you're also very humble. Just be honest with yourself. Nobody's grading this. Nobody's. It's not about who gets the best grade on it either. It's for you, right? So just do it. All right, 1 poor, 5 the greatest, and everything in between. All right. So first of 25 questions in these 5 are you, when you close the sale, when you ask for the application, are you using the reasons that the prospect or the client gives you when you ask them that most important question during your interview? Does an extended care policy sound like something you can benefit from if you can qualify for it? They say yes, you say why. And in that why, they give you their motivation for why they want to move forward. It's important that you use that why when you ask them for the application. If they say, well, I just don't want to be a burden to someone else, or I don't want to run through my entire life savings, or whatever reason they give you. But whatever their reason is, that's the reason. And you should be using that language when you finally take the app, because that's what gets them to take action. You're helping them solve a problem that they realize that they have, and you help them put together a plan. And so again, grade yourself on whether or not you're doing that or not. You got to ask for the application, guys. No, are you doing that? Right? We talk about how you should assume the application after they answer the why, and then you can say, all I need now is your doctor's name, address, and phone number, or all I need now is your medications. But you've got to ask for the application. Don't expect them to take action unless you ask them to. When you ask them, again, grade yourself on how you're doing with that. When you ask a closing question, shut up. I hate to be blunt about it. Stay quiet. He who talks first loses, is the old adage in sales. Let them answer the question, however much time they need to answer the question. When this next point is one for the phone more than I think for your interviews. But if you don't make a sale, make a firm appointment to return. If you say to someone, okay, I understand, Mrs. Jones, we can't do it today because of time or whatever the reasons are, but you've told me that you think this is the best solution for you and why. What time next week? I have time on Tuesday or Thursday. I have time at 3 o'clock or at 4:30. Whatever. Always give them choice closes, but get a specific time for the next appointment to take the application. If they don't give you a specific appointment and time to be able to take the application, there's something else amiss. And they're only saying that to you to get you off the phone. You, as an interviewer, field underwriter, have to explore what it really is that's keeping them from making the app. There's absolutely no reason for them not to, but again, things happen. And if they, if they want to give you a specific day and time, that's fine. Are you doing that? Give yourself a grade. All right. And then on the last of these 5 questions, follow up. Keep dripping on them if they haven't bought, keep staying in front of them, keep sending them relevant information of value, stay in front of them, because you never know when the right time's going to come up, and you want it to be you that they come to. So do you have a system in place that's allowing you to do that? Those are the first 5 questions. Give yourself a score. Let's talk the next 5 questions. Oops. All right. Stop taking this business personal. When someone rejects making an application, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the concept or the plan as whether it's right for them. It's not personal. You're a great provider of such a wonderful service to them that, frankly, they're just simply not going to get this anywhere else. Your job is to help them create a plan, not buy a policy. Create a plan. And again, they can choose to self-insure, they can choose to transfer the risk. They can choose to use Medicare and Medicaid or the government to help them, or they can transfer the risk to a multi-billion-dollar insurance company like the ones you offer. You have to have confidence that, at least in my case, I know 2/3 of the people I speak to are going to say, I want to transfer the risk to an insurance company. Okay, you can help them do that. But if they came away with their conversation with you by saying now that they have a plan, you did your job. You made a difference. So don't take rejection personal. Ask yourself if you're doing that and give yourself a score. Guys, if you haven't figured this out about about our business, it's constantly in a state of flux. And you've got to adapt to change, right? Don't fight it, accept it, go with it, right? I can't count how many times I've seen this business change over the 35 years I've been in it. You've got to roll with the changes and use them to your advantage. You need your own set of rules. Do you have them? How are you doing in that particular space? It doesn't help if you are all over the place. Have a rule for how you want to run your business, a system for how you want to run your business. The system, people will either select into your system or select out. Ask yourself, how well are you doing with it? Because, again, give yourself a score. Because if you break the rules, if you get all, it's just going to frustrate you. So don't do that. Here's something that I'm very proud that many of you do. You team up with other specialists and you work together and you share ideas and you come on Saturday's calls and you share ideas there and you're always asking questions. I can't be more proud of the fact of how well you all interact with each other. Do that more often. having someone to talk to through this business, something to bounce ideas off of, is extraordinarily helpful. But are you doing it? Give yourself a grade. Here's another one for the telephone, more so than in person, but it's true everywhere, and it's true in every aspect of your life. It's not just true about this business. Don't argue. You're not going to win. Even if you win the argument, you're not going to win. That's why your response should always be, when somebody gives you an objection, your response is always, that's exactly why I'm calling, or that's exactly why I'm reaching out and contacting you. You're there to help them solve a problem. The old adage in sales is, all objections die with agreement. So agree and say, that's exactly why I was calling. That's exactly why we're having the conversation, and move on. All right. Because if you argue, even if you win, you lose. Give yourself a grade of whether or not you're doing that or not. All right. The next 5. You've got to control your attitude and your emotions. Again, say to yourself before every interview that you do, I'm going to tune the world out and my prospect in. That's your mantra. Tune the world out and my prospect in. I'm going to interview, not sell. I'm going to ask, not tell. Those are the kinds of things that will help you get positive emotions going, so you're staying focused on your prospect and they'll feel that. All right. If you bring negative emotions into it, you're going to project that as well. Be smart enough and professional enough to guard against that. Always look to go above and beyond. I just gave you a great way to do that. We just gave you a great way to do that with the Harry and David program. Deliver more than expected. I can share with you that when I sent out the Harry and David as a thank you gift after I've taken and delivered a policy, I've gotten so much positive feedback, letters, referrals, loyalty from those clients, etc. They retain it makes a big difference because it's better and bigger than anybody else has done for them. All right. And it's a surprise as you look at number 3 on this sheet. You catch them with something that's pleasant and unexpected. And when you do that, you stand out. So who do you think they're going to think of when somebody says to them, oh, you have long-term care, who'd you get it from? They're going to refer to you because you stood above the crowd. Treat every customer as though they are special, because they are, all right? And like you're talking to the queen of, again, well, I don't want to go to the royal family right now. It seems they've got their own challenges, but still, just treat everybody as though they're the most important person, because they should be for that time you're talking to them. And the time you're talking to them is much more important to them than it is to you. Again, you've heard me say it 100 times. What are you going to get? A commission? Some renewals? What are they going to get? If they actually have to make a claim, do you understand how important what it is what you just did with them, it is going to mean to the rest of their lives? You've proven it time and time again, and you've heard it. If any of you have had claims, you've heard it from your claimants. What a great decision it was for them to move forward with you and put a plan in place, right? The old golden rule: treat others like you want to be treated yourself. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Ask yourself, if I were them, what would I want to be hearing, etc. Are you doing that? Give yourself a grade. All right. 4 of the 5 of the 25 questions, the 4 of 5, if you will, of those questions. Satisfy. Oops, my computer just covered up the words here. All right. I don't know why it did, but it did. You want to project. I can't read the slide. Let me see if I can make it go lower. Somebody read the top bullet to me, because I can't read it. There it is. Always respond to any problem or complaint that a client brings to you within as soon as possible, immediately, but certainly no more than 24 hours. Run toward your problems, not away. Don't avoid them. Don't hope they'll go away if you don't respond or anything. Run toward them. You'll be shocked how many times it's nowhere near as bad as you think, and how much more you'll be appreciated if you do. If you're not doing that now, give yourself a grade. If you are doing it, give yourself a grade. Take full responsibility for your business. It's not somebody else's fault. It's your responsibility. It's to help those people, to deliver your interview in a way that allows them to make an application, to want to move forward. It's all on you. There's no fingers to point anywhere else. If you're not getting what you want out of this, then you don't need to do anything but look in the mirror, because that's where the responsibility is, because people are doing it all the time and making it work. There's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't either. Give yourself a grade, whether or not you're taking ownership of your business that way. I have always been a gambling man and person that likes to take risk, but understand that even though risks are necessary, the old adage is true: the harder you work, the luckier you get. Yes, there are things you can do to impact your luck in the universe, but we're not going to get into that today. As much as I want you to ask yourself, are you applying the work ethic necessary to get out of this what you want? Again, only you can answer this question, and give yourself a grade on how you're doing in that space. Can you take no for an answer and accept it without having to resist back? Can you take no as a challenge instead of a rejection? That's what it is. A no is just, you haven't told me enough yet for me to take action, right? Again, they've got to want to put a plan in place to address this risk more than they think their concern is about spending the premium. If they see the value in the product, they're going to take action. If they see just another expense, they're not, right? But you have to be persistent. You have to stick to it. You have to keep yourself in front of them, because again, you don't know when the right time is going to come for them. And when it does, you want them thinking of you. You got to inspect your numbers. Again, you get what you inspect, not what you expect. You got to keep track. How many dials did I make? How many interviews did I give? How many applications did I take? How much premium was involved? What's my average premium on? And you have to keep your own box score. If you're not keeping notes, if you're not keeping track, if you're not inspecting what you're doing, you're not going to be able to grow. You've got to measure your business like in any other endeavor out there, and ask yourself, are you doing that? And give yourself a score. And the final 5, and this is something that I learned from many of you since coming here. I don't know that there's anything more powerful than networking in our day and age, whether it's on the social networks or whether it's in person or by joining different groups and associations or attending conferences. But networking is something that works real well for the people and the agents at NAIS. And all the top agents do it so well. And I've learned from listening to them and how they're doing it. You need to put time aside to do that. I mean, every week I hear about stories about people on an elevator who got a lead because they brought up, that they could help them with a particular product, Medicare usually, but all over the place, just constantly looking to meet people at hotels, at restaurants, at movie theaters, everywhere. Just constantly be networking with people, because everyone out there at one time or another can use your service, and no one's going to get the kind of service you're going to deliver because of your knowledge and expertise. Give yourself a grade. Have your elevator talk ready. Be able to immediately share exactly what you do. I'm an extended care specialist. I help people address what's going to happen to them as they get older and they think they might need care, how to keep their savings, how to not be a burden to someone else. Get your talk down, all right? When you go to a conference or you meet somebody, see if you can get, you have a business card that you can write notes down on the back of, so that you have the business card associated with the person that you were talking to. Make yourself Have an impressive business card. I mean, today people have gotten away from business cards because they're using the websites and other things. Each of you have your own website, and if you don't, you have it from us for free. I don't know why you're not getting it. Back9 will build it for you. Back9 will host it for you. Back9 will design it to you specifically. So if you don't have it already, take full advantage of getting it, and no cost to you. Look, it hurts sometimes to take these tests, to have to be honest with yourself, but you're not trying to impress anyone here. You're trying to analyze yourself. Take your score, look at your grades, see where you stand, and adjust your business accordingly. This is a game that we play, but you never win. You're constantly improving upon it. That's how we do the lead business. That's how we do the sales business. That's how we do everything. We're constantly looking to be better at what we do. And the way you do that is to do this kind of self-analysis. So take the test, get yourself a score, look at it, ask yourself where you can improve, focus on that, and I promise you, your growth will be exponential, because that's what happens when you take a hard and honest look at yourself. And that's my message for today. So are you up to the test? That's only you can answer. Tomorrow we'll have a call, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you for attending, all of you that do attend. You're making those calls work well. And anybody have any questions about anything at all regarding to the things we talked about? I'll find out what happened with Andy, and we'll get back to you on that, and we'll get you that information. And remember, next week you've got True Freedom coming on as a guest. Any questions? Once, twice? If you come up with one, come on the call tomorrow morning. I'll be glad to address it. Between now and then, go create a great day and look for the email with the recording of this video, of this webinar. All right. Thanks for being patient and understanding. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.